Welcome back, everyone. Derch here, and I wanted to make a video for a while now, and this is like my fourth take at it because I'm never happy with it. Why I left YouTube, and am I coming back? So that's the question people have been asking because I've been recording some videos. Borderlands 4 is coming out, so I figured I'd owe you guys a response if I'm going to put out a few videos. So that's a little bit of a spoiler. I'm kind of back.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
So there's four main reasons I kind of stopped YouTube, and they kind of just all happened to kind of fall on top of each other, which made it hard for me to want to come back for a while. But obviously Borderlands 4 is changing that math. So the first one is I just started getting a little burnt out. My job was picking up. I was getting busier. You know, I do this on the side. This was never like a full-time thing for me. I have a very good job that I don't want to, well, I don't think it would take a lot for YouTube and maybe even Twitch to compete with what my job offers me. So trying to go YouTube full-time was, it'd be a very difficult thing, or content creation full-time. So yeah, I was just kind of busy. I wanted to take a little break, and I never planned on staying on. That just kind of happened with the rest of the things that kind of fell into a part. So a few of the parts for the burnout. One was trying to keep up with Borderlands 3. So what some of you guys probably don't realize, and I didn't realize at the time, Borderlands 3 was like the first game that launched that I was doing content creation for. I started this channel well after the pre-sequel was fully released and at max level. I was a big advocate and contributor to the forums at that time. As many of you guys know, I eventually became a moderator there. And I was a big part in like organizing the forums information, creating the pin threads, creating the top gear threads and the skill guides, and just doing a lot of that stuff. But I got frustrated at that time because I was watching the YouTubers and seeing how many views they got compared to the people reading the forums. And I wanted to try to take some of that forum information into YouTube and get that better exposed. That was kind of some of my initial goals. So I came into content creation knowing the information, not learning it. And because of that, I was able to put out a lot of stuff really quickly, really helpful. And I'm still getting views on that stuff to the day, and still somehow making money. Not fun, but I'm still getting paid from YouTube years later, which is kind of insane because I've been gone for quite some time. So I think a lot of those have like held up over time, which makes me really kind of like proud and thrilled on that stuff. But with Borderlands 3, I came into it new, and I was working my job and trying to keep up with Borderlands 3 when other people, there's just so many full-time content creators at that time. And it was really hard to do that, and you guys didn't put the pressure on me. I put the pressure on myself because I was like a source of information. I want to say a leading source of information. That's kind of toot my own horn, but I kind of feel that way. And at Borderlands 3, I just wasn't able to do that and be that, and that kind of led to some frustration. It was kind of taking the fun out of just enjoying the game for me. Which was kind of the first time that happened to me with content creation. Before that, it was just kind of like all fun. And that just created kind of a lot of extra stress, and trying to keep up with Borderlands 3, my job and my social life, it just became a lot. I didn't stop doing it because I didn't like Borderlands 3. I love Borderlands 3. I think it's a fantastic game. But keeping up with that, trying to keep up with that meta in Borderlands 3 was a new thing I didn't know I was going to run into. So now I'm aware of that for Borderlands 4, and I'll touch on to that when I get to what are my plans part of this video. The other part of the burnout was the growth of the channel. you know, when my channel first started off, when I was like, you know, sub 10,000 subscribers, I could, you know, just kind of hop on my computer. I had all the information, you know, record for 20 minutes, you know, go into Adobe, render my video, spend half an hour making a thumbnail, do the YouTube stuff, and about an hour I could have a video out. But as I kept growing, getting bigger, a few things started changing. You have a lot more comments to try to respond to and monitor in your channel. Again, it's not a audience thing so much as a personal thing. You try to just increase the quality of your output, and it's amazing on when you start just instead of like doing your videos raw and actually like editing them and putting in effects and trying to get rid of all the ands and ums and does, cleaning up your audio. The video process to do that goes from minutes to hours. And even for a 10 to 20 minute video, doing some of that stuff can take hours, which changed kind of the time it was taking to put out videos. But on top of, you know, the time to try to put out better videos, the increased need to respond to people, and your audience is bigger, trying to manage your Discord and Instagram, Facebook, Patreon, whatever, all that time really expands, and the little sweet part-time gig becomes more of a full-time job. And then the balance between social life, job life, and second job YouTube, everything starts to get a lot harder. So that was another thing I kind of came to. I kind of came to a crossing point. If I'm going to continue YouTube and want to really grow the channel and all of that, it was turning into an actual job and not a fun hobby. And my main job takes care of me very well. And the gap between YouTube and my main job, especially when you consider in like healthcare and retirement and all those bonuses, vacation time, the YouTube was just not going to be feasible, even if I would have started other platforms to kind of keep up with that, or to take years to get to it, because it was just a fraction. So you just get to that weird point where it's like, you need to go full time or cut back, and I just cut back way too far. Why the absence lasted more than just, you know, a break for a month or two? A lot of that came with COVID. So I was kind of getting the itch to come back, but then COVID hit, and I started working from home, which worked fine because I was the only person in my department in my office, and most of what I did was on conference calls anyways while I was sitting in the office. So working from home really wasn't different for me. And I started working from home, I think like 2 months before the lockdowns, because, you know, the news of COVID was hitting, and I had a roommate at that time and he was really sick. So I didn't want to bring that into the workplace just in case. We never figured out if it was really COVID or not. But so with all that, I was working from home, and like I just said, I was in a 2-bedroom apartment with a roommate at the time, and my computer setup was in my bedroom, and I lived in a place that was built in 1906. I love old buildings with character, but it also means smaller bedrooms. So a big gaming setup plus a bed in a small bedroom is kind of tight. And I remember there was one day I was trying to do some gaming and some of that stuff, and, you know, I worked an 8-hour shift, and then I was playing games and recording some stuff, and between that, sleeping and working, I realized I think I was in my bedroom. It was like 20 hours or over 20 hours in the period of a day. I was spending like 80% of my life just in this one small room, and that didn't feel good. I needed to just get the fuck out of there. So that just made it hard, because it just, all of a sudden my gaming space was my workspace, and I didn't want to just sit in the same space. It made gaming feel more like work. And it made it really difficult. So now it's better. I've got a separate office. It's still the same gaming and workspace, but it's not as depressing because it's not also my sleeping space. So it's a little better than that, but I still don't want to be sitting in here for 8-10 hours a day after working 8 hours. So I'm going to be playing in smaller sessions and some of that stuff to help break that up. But yeah, just COVID and working from home just made it really, I just didn't game at all, really. I actually bought a console, became a pleb, just so I could kind of like enjoy some gaming outside of the room. Just some casual stuff. You know, I played like the new Final Fantasy remakes, Final Fantasy 7 remakes, and some Red Dead and some of that stuff. While I wasn't sitting in this room, it made it better. I tried like the Steam Deck to stream to my TV, but I just didn't like that setup. But yeah, that just made it difficult. So that's kind of what led to my burnout and why it was hard to come back. But now, you know, Borderlands 4 is just giving me all that energy, and I'm so excited to come back and play Borderlands 4. As you saw, you know, I just got back to Borderlands 2 and put that upload video. I've been touching some Wonderlands. I've been doing a little bit of BL3, just trying to knock off the rust, you know. So, sorry about that cough. I've also just been getting over a nasty cold. So what are my plans for coming back with Borderlands 4? To avoid what happened with Borderlands 3, I've kind of like put some rules on myself, or trying to like alleviate those things so I don't suffer that burnout again. So my first playthrough, I'm not going to try to record it. I don't think it would make good content. Anyways, when I first play a new game, I just like to explore, take my time, go slow. I'm not going to like rush to the end. And I'm not going to sit in this room 10 hours a day playing. I'm going to be playing co-op with my friend Katie Waffles. A bunch of you, or some of you, hopefully remember her. She used to stream on Twitch, a dear friend of mine. So I was really excited to play with Katie again. We played Borderlands 3 together at launch and the free sequel. So it's kind of a tradition for us to play these games together. So I just don't think that would make great content, and that would put that pressure on again. So I'm just going to play that first thing for fun and for myself. What I will be, when I run into like, what I will be doing, as I run into cool things I feel like are worthy of sharing, I will, you know, after my play sessions with Katie, I'll go back and, you know, whether it's showing off a gun or a mechanic or a map or a fight or, you know, whatever I find interesting and worth sharing, I'll be doing like initial first responses to Borderlands 4. But I'm only going to try to do a couple videos a week. I don't want to like push that. I'm not going to try to like keep up with everyone at first. Once I beat the game, get to max level and start working out my builds and what I find interesting. I've always been kind of an off meta guy anyways. I'll start putting that stuff out. I'm not going to try to like keep up with the meta. I'm going to definitely want to be doing a bunch of gun reviews as I get to max level and there's a good way to test the guns. So I will be doing some good, the bad, and the ugly stuff, hopefully. That's kind of tough with how much they patch guns now, so I might wait for a few patches to be out, and then I'll just make addendums and updates to them based on the patches. So I think that would be fun to do, and I think that's the stuff you guys like for me anyways. My Let's Plays have never done as good as like skill reviews and gun reviews and really analyzing that stuff. The skill stuff will take a while because, you know, it just takes a while to like understand and know nuances of all that stuff. When I did that for the other games, the games were out for years. So that stuff's not going to come right away because I just need time, and I'm not going to put that pressure on myself to put that stuff out right away because that's what led to the burnout. So I'm just going to be a lot more casual and kind of laid back about it and not trying to push too hard or push the growth. I'm just gonna be doing the stuff for fun and what I enjoy and what I think you guys enjoy from me. Rather than just keep pushing out content to get daily videos, I'm just gonna like wait to put out stuff that's worthwhile. So yeah, those are my plans for coming back and why I left in the first place, which I think you guys deserved a response on that. And like I said, this is like my 4th or 5th time trying to do this video, but I think I'm actually happy with this. So I'll be posting this, and yeah, it's just a couple days until Borderlands 4, so I am very, very pumped, and hope to be experiencing it with you guys. If you do like want to interact with me a little bit, I don't know how much I'm going to be in like Discords and stuff, but you will find me hopping around Reddit, posting in there. I have been hanging out in front of some of my friends' Twitch chats, just talk about the game, because, you know, I do like doing that. So yeah, I'm often like, I'll pop into like Moxie's Twitch or Moby's or Fist, or you know, Zoki was playing a little bit. I was at hers the other day. So just kind of some of my old friends, people that I know well and enjoy. I'll be hopping in their Twitch chats just because, you know, I'm enjoying Borderlands 4, but if they're too far ahead, it might be a little bit before I start joining those, just spoiler reasons, you know. I want to get through the game myself before I see other people beating it. Well, my cough's coming back because I talked too long, so I'm going to call it on here, but it's good to see you guys again. Hopefully you enjoy it, and let's get some Borderlands 4 done together. Thanks for watching. Bye.